I bought her for $11 on a Tuesday in October, which was what she went for because I was the only bid. The auctioneer had tried twice for 15 and twice for 12, and had looked at the 20-some people standing around the ring with the expression of a man who has been doing this for 30 years and is not surprised that nobody is bidding, but is professionally obligated to make the attempt. And at $11, I raised my hand, and she was mine. She was a 5-year-old bay mare, dark red-brown body, black mane and tail, a narrow white blaze running from her forehead to her nose, 15 hands, sound in wind and body, the kind of horse that in a different year at a different auction would have gone for $40 or $50 without argument. She was not going for $40 or $50 today because of her eyes. Her eyes had the specific quality of an animal that has made a decision about people and has been living by that decision long enough that the decision has become the animal. Not mean, she had not struck or kicked or bitten at anything in the ring, which I had watched specifically to confirm. Just decided that people were not a thing she was going to trust, and that the not trusting was going to be her permanent position on the matter until someone proved otherwise, which, in her experience, no one had gotten around to doing. I knew what that was. I had seen it before in horses and occasionally in other things, and I knew that it was not unfixable, only slow, and that slow did not bother me. I loaded her in the trailer, which she permitted barely, with the specific tolerance of an animal that has concluded that some things must be endured, and drove her home to the Alderson property on the county road east of Pratt, and put her in the small round pen I kept for starting horses. I put water and hay in the pen, and I left her alone for the rest of the day, which was the first thing you did with a horse like this. You left them alone, and you let them understand that alone in this new place was not threatening, that the alone here was a different kind of alone from whatever alone they had known before. In the morning, I went to the round pen before breakfast. I did not go in. I stood at the fence and looked at her, and she stood at the far end of the pen and looked at me, and we assessed each other in the early morning light for about 15 minutes, and then I went and made breakfast and came back and stood at the fence again for another 10 minutes, and then I went to work. I did this 3 times the first day. I did not enter the pen. I just stood at the fence. On the second morning, I was at the round pen fence at 6:30, which was my usual time, standing and watching her do what she was doing, which was watching me back from the far end of the pen with the dark eyes that had made their decision and were waiting to see if the decision was going to be tested, when I heard boots on the road. I looked up. There was a woman at my west fence line, the fence that ran between my property and the Briggs property, which was now the property of Harold Briggs's daughter, who had been running it since Harold died in '32. I had known her by sight for 3 years. I knew her name was Clara. I had spoken to her twice, both times brief and both times about the specific business of adjacent properties, the fence line and the road drainage, and I had formed the impression of a capable woman who managed her situation without complaint and who had no particular need for neighbors who were not needed. She was standing at my west fence with her hands in her coat pockets looking at the round pen. She was not looking at me. She was looking at the mare. I looked back at the mare. We stood there, me at the round pen fence and Clara Briggs at my west property fence, 60 yards apart, watching the horse. The horse watched us back with the dark, deciding eyes. After about 10 minutes, Clara turned and walked back up the road toward the Briggs property, and I watched her go with the specific attention I gave to things I had not entirely figured out yet. I went back to watching the mare. On the third morning, she was at the west fence again at 6:30. Same coat, same hands in pockets, same quality of attention directed at the mare rather than at me. I was in the round pen this time. I had entered it the previous afternoon for the first time, walking in slowly and standing in the center and letting the mare circle me at the edge for 20 minutes before I left. And I was standing in the center of the pen with my back to the mare, which was the second thing you did, because turning your back on an animal that did not trust you was, counterintuitively, the correct move. I heard Clara at the fence. "She circles instead of coming at you," she said. She said it quietly, not calling across the distance, just talking at the right volume for the morning and the round pin and the specific situation. I turned to look at her. Yes, I said. That's not a mean horse, she said. No, I said, she's not. What did they do to her? She said. I looked at the mare, who was at the far end of the pen with the dark eyes. I don't know exactly, I said. Whatever it was, she remembers it. Clara looked at the mare for a moment. Most things do, she said. She walked back up the road. I stood in the center of the round pen and thought about what she had said, which was the kind of statement that was either a thing about horses or also something else, and I was not certain which it had been. The mare circled at the far end of the pen and watched me with the deciding eyes. On the fourth morning, Clara came to the west fence at 6:15, which was 15 minutes earlier than the previous 2 mornings, which I noted without remarking on. I was at the round pin fence, not inside. I had been inside yesterday and had made progress, the mare allowing me to stand within 10 feet of her before moving away, which was more than the day before, and I turned when I heard her on the road. She looked at the pin, at the mare, then at me. Can I try? She said. I looked at her. She had the gray eyes in the October morning light, wide and direct, and with the stillness I had noticed in them from the first morning, the stillness of someone who has been observing and has arrived at a position and is now stating it. What do you know about starting horses? I said. I know what I've watched for 3 mornings, she said. I thought about this. It was not nothing. 3 mornings of watching was 3 mornings of paying attention, and paying attention was the most important thing. Don't go straight to her, I said. I know, she said. Turn sideways when she looks at you, I said. I know, she said. If she, Nate, she said. I stopped. Let me try, she said. I opened the gate. She came into the pen, and I stepped out and closed the gate behind her and stood at the fence to watch. She walked to the center of the pen the way I had walked to the center of the pen, not toward the mare, just to the center, and she stopped there and turned sideways and looked at nothing in particular, which is what you do, because looking at nothing in particular is the opposite of a threat. The mare was at the far end of the pen. She had her ears forward, not pinned back, forward, which meant she was listening rather than deciding to leave, and her dark eyes were on Clara with the calculating attention of an animal trying to determine what this new person was. Clara stood sideways and looked at the October sky. A minute passed. 2 minutes. The mare moved her weight from one foot to the other, which is a small sign but a real one. I watched from the fence. Clara did not move. She stood in the center of the pen with her hands loose at her sides and the dark, honey-blonde hair loose around her face in the October morning and her gray eyes on the sky. And she was the stillest person I had seen in a long time. The specific stillness of someone who knows how to wait and is doing it genuinely rather than performing it. 3 minutes. 4. The mare took one step toward the center of the pen. I did not move at the fence. Clara did not move in the pen. The mare took another step, and another. She was moving slowly, the careful step-by-step of an animal that is doing something against its own recent experience and is doing it anyway, which requires a different kind of commitment than the easy things require. She came to within 15 feet of Clara and stopped. Clara turned her head slowly, just the head, no body movement, and looked at the mare. Not at her eyes, at her shoulder, which was the correct place. The mare looked at Clara's shoulder. They stood there, 15 feet apart for a full minute. The October morning around them, the round pin, the Kansas sky above. Then Clara reached into her coat pocket and took out a piece of carrot, which she held flat on her palm at her side, not extended toward the mare, just present, just there. The mare's nostrils moved. I stood at the fence and watched the mare take the last 5 steps. She took the carrot from Clara's palm with the delicate, specific gentleness of an animal that knows how to do this but has been choosing not to. And Clara let the hand drop to her side after the carrot was gone and did not try to touch the mare, which was the correct decision. The mare stood beside Clara for a moment. Then she walked to the far end of the pen. But she had come. She had chosen to come. Clara turned from the pen and looked at me at the fence. The gray eyes and the October morning light and something in her expression that was not triumph. It was the expression of a person who has done a careful thing and knows it came out right and is not surprised by that, but is moved by it anyway. I opened the gate. She came out and stood beside me at the fence, and we both looked at the mare, who was at the far end of the pen doing what horses do when they have done something unexpected, processing it, which requires stillness and ears that are moving between positions. "She's not a broke horse," Clara said. "No," I said. "She's a horse that got broke," she said. "There's a difference." I looked at her. "Yes," I said, "there is." She looked at the mare. "What are you going to call her?" "I've been calling her Mare," I said. Clara looked at me with the gray eyes. "That's not a name," she said. "It's accurate," I said. "Accurate isn't the same as a name," she said. I looked at the horse, at the dark bay coat and the white blaze and the dark deciding eyes that had for 4 minutes this morning decided differently than they had decided for however long they had been deciding the other way. "What would you call her?" I said. She was quiet for a moment. "June," she said. "She looks like a June morning, the color of her." I looked at the horse, a bay coat in the October light. I was not certain I saw what Clara saw, but I was not certain I didn't. "June," I said. "Yes," she said. "If you're going to name her something she can grow into." I looked at Clara beside me at the fence, at the honey blonde hair and the gray eyes and the October morning light on her face and the stillness that was always in her, the specific quality of someone who has learned to wait for the right moment and knows when the right moment has arrived. "Clara," I said. "Yes," she said. "How did you know about the carrot?" I said. She looked at the mare. "I didn't," she said. "I brought it because I thought it might help, but I didn't know." "You could have dropped it," I said, "if she'd startled." "I know," she said. "You held it very still," I said. "I was holding it very still," she said. "I noticed," I said. She looked at me, the gray eyes with the stillness in them. "Nate," she said. "Yes," I said. "She came to me," she said. "The horse. She came." "She did," I said. "I've been watching you work her for 3 mornings," she said. "You were doing everything right. Everything I know how to recognize as right. But she wasn't coming." "She was getting closer," I said. "I know," she said, "but she wasn't coming." I looked at the mare, at Clara. "Are you saying she needed you?" I said. She thought about it. "I think she needed something I have," she said. "I don't know what it is exactly." "I do," I said. She looked at me. "The stillness," I said. "You're the stillest person I've seen in a long time. Not calm, still. There's a difference. Horses know the difference immediately." She looked at her hands, at the hand that had held the carrot. "I didn't know that about myself," she said. "Most people don't know it if they have it," I said, "because to them it just feels like being themselves." She was quiet. The mare was at the far end of the pen in the October morning, ears forward, watching us at the fence with the dark eyes that had done something unprecedented this morning and were now considering what it meant. "Nate," she said. "Yes," I said. "I'm going to come back tomorrow," she said, "if that's all right." I looked at her, at the gray eyes in the October light. "Come back tomorrow," I said. She walked back up the road to the Briggs property, and I watched her go. The dark blue coat and the straight-backed walk and the honey blonde hair in the October morning. And then I turned back to the round pen in June. June was watching me. "Don't look at me like that," I said. June continued to look at me exactly like that. She came back the next morning, and every morning after. The mornings became the shape of the day's beginning. Clara at the fence by 6:15, sometimes entering the pen and sometimes watching from the fence. June's relationship with the two of us developing in the slow, patient way of an animal learning to revise a decision. By November, June was coming to the fence when she heard Clara's boots on the road. Not me, Clara. She had made a distinction, had sorted us into categories, and in the category of people who were worth coming to the fence for, Clara was in it, and I was working toward it. I told her this on a Thursday morning in November, standing at the round pen fence with the November cold in the air, and June at the near side of the pen. "She comes to the fence when she hears you coming," I said. Clara looked at June at the fence. "I know," she said. "She doesn't do that for me," I said. "She will," Clara said. "She's watching you. She's decided about me. She's still deciding about you." "How long does it take?" I said. "The deciding." She looked at the horse. "As long as it takes," she said. "You can't hurry it." She paused. "But you can help it." "How?" I said. "Keep showing up," she said. "At the same time, the same way, without wanting anything from her that she's not ready to give." She looked at me. "She's watching whether your patience is real or whether you're just waiting." I looked at Clara. "What's the difference?" I said. "Patience is willing to not get there," she said. "Waiting is just slower wanting." I looked at the fence, at June, who was regarding us both with the dark eyes. "That's true of a lot of things," I said. "Yes," she said, "it is." We stood at the fence in the November morning, and the silence was the comfortable kind. The kind that happens between two people who have been at the same fence together enough mornings that silence is one of the things they do there, as natural as talking. "Clara," I said. "Yes," she said. "You've been here every morning since October," I said. 3 weeks now." "I have a farm to run," she said. "I come before the day starts." "I know," I said. "I notice." She looked at June. "What do you notice?" she said. "That you come at 6:15, I said. "That you always come from the road rather than across the field, even though the field is shorter. That you bring something for her every morning, not always a carrot, sometimes an apple, sometimes just your hand. That you've been wearing the same blue coat every morning since the first morning, which tells me it's your work coat and not a coat you put on specifically for this." I paused. "And that you don't talk much while you're in the pen with her, but on the way out you always say something to her. Not to me, to her." Clara was quiet for a moment. "I didn't know you were watching all of that," she said. "I watch things," I said. She looked at me, the gray eyes with the stillness, and something else now, something that the stillness was holding but that was present underneath it, the way water is present under ice. "What do you say to June?" I said, "when you're leaving the pen?" She was quiet for a moment. "I tell her I'll be back tomorrow," she said, "because she needs to know that." "And you always come back," I said. "I always come back," she said. I looked at the fence, at the November morning and the Kansas sky doing its November thing, flat and gray and honest about the winter that was coming. At June at the fence, who was listening to our conversation with the ears that moved between positions when something required attention. "Clara," I said. "Nate," she said. "Come inside after," I said. "When you're done with her. I'll make coffee." She looked at me. Something in the gray eyes shifted, the something underneath the stillness becoming visible for a moment before the stillness settled back over it. "All right," she said. "After." She went into the pen, and I went to start the coffee, and I came back to the fence while she worked with June, who was allowing Clara to touch her neck now, the first touch, 5 minutes. And then June would move away, and Clara would let her go and stand sideways looking at the sky, until June came back, which she always did. They were learning each other in the slow, patient way of two things that have decided the learning is worth the time it takes. I watched from the fence and thought about patience and waiting, and the difference between them, which Clara had named and which was true. And I thought about what it meant to keep showing up at the same time in the same way, without wanting anything that wasn't ready to be given. When Clara came out of the pen, she washed her hands at the barn tap and came to the kitchen door, and I had the coffee on the table, and she sat down and we drank it. This was what November became. The morning penwork, June's slow revision of her position on people, Clara and I at the fence watching it happen, and then the coffee in the kitchen, first once a week, then twice, then most mornings, the kitchen acquiring the quality it acquires when it is used regularly by two people and has organized itself around that use. We talked about the horses first, and then about the farms, and then about other things, her father and what the property had been when he was alive, my father and what it had been before me, the specific changes the drought had made, and what the county looked like from inside 3 years of it. We talk the way people talk when they have found someone who is worth talking to and are using the finding. In December, June began coming to the fence when she heard my boots on the road. I did not say anything about it when it happened for the first time. I went to the round pin fence and June came to the near side and I stood at the fence for a while, and then I went and made coffee, and when Clara arrived at 6:15, I was in the kitchen and I said her coffee was on the table. She came in and sat down. She looked at the table, then at me. "She came to the fence this morning," she said. "When she heard you coming down the road," I said. "No," she said. "Before I got here. She was already at the fence when I came through your gate." I looked at the coffee. "Yes," I said. "You got here before me this morning," she said. "I usually do," I said. "Nate," she said. "Yes," I said. "She came to the fence for you," she said. I looked at my coffee cup. "It appears so," I said. Clara was quiet for a moment. Then she made a sound, not quite a laugh, not quite something else, the specific sound of a person who is moved by something and is not going to make a production of being moved. "I knew she would," she said. "You told me it would take as long as it takes," I said. "It took until December," she said. "Yes," I said. "That's not very long," she said, "for a horse that decided what she decided." "No," I said, "it isn't." She looked at the coffee, at the December kitchen, at the window where the morning was going about its business outside. "What changed?" she said, "for her?" "You kept coming back," I said. "Every morning, same time, same way, without wanting anything she wasn't ready to give." I looked at her. "She learned that about you. And then she started to believe it might also be true about me. Because you were here and you seemed to think I was worth coming back to." Clara looked at me for a long time. The gray eyes and the December kitchen light and the stillness that was always in her and the something underneath it that I had been watching since October. "Nate," she said. "Yes," I said. "I've been coming here every morning since October," she said. 43 mornings, I said. She looked at me. "You counted," she said.
"I count things," I said.
She looked at her coffee cup, then out the window, then back at me. "The horse let me in on the 4th morning," she said. "You let me in on the 1st. I looked at her across the December kitchen. "You were at my fence at 6:30, I said, watching my horse. What was I going to do?" "You could have said something," she said. "You could have told me to go home." "I could have," I said. "Why didn't you?" she said. I looked at the coffee, at the window, at Clara Briggs across the kitchen table with the honey blonde hair and the gray eyes, and 43 mornings of 6:15, and the carrot held flat on her palm, and the thing she said to June when she was leaving the pen, which was that she would be back tomorrow. "Because you were watching her the way I watch her," I said. "And I don't meet many people who watch things that way." She was quiet. The December morning outside. June in the round pen, coming to the fence when she heard boots on the road. "Clara," I said. "Yes," she said. "Come back tomorrow," I said, "and the morning after." She looked at me. The gray eyes with the stillness and the water under the ice, and the specific quality of a woman who has been patient and has been waiting and knows the difference between the two. "I'll be here at 6:15, she said. "I know," I said. "You always are." She finished her coffee and went home, and I went to the round pen, and June came to the fence when she heard my boots on the path, which she had not done 2 months ago, and which she did now, and I stood at the fence with June and thought about patience and the difference between patience and waiting, and about a woman who had been at my fence every morning since October and who told a horse she would be back tomorrow and then came back. June put her nose over the fence rail. I put my hand on her nose. She let me.